Now, if we think about that tech I just showed you, you can use that with slow shot, and it's not any slower than it was without it. So you can still sit here and 232, 33. Alright, let's talk about the universal range Souljade. Switch Dazzle allows you to mix a ranged attack into your melee combos by swapping weapons. The attack happens automatically after the switch, and each weapon has a unique Dazzle attack. Okay, so I want to show you what each one looks like. Here's the bow. Here's the pistol. Here's the cannon. The musket. And the repeating crossbow. Switch Dazzle is not affected by any of your ranged Souljades. So if you have armor pierce and you do the musket combo, you're not going to hit him for damage to his HP. Okay, so on the bow, burst arrow is going to reduce the damage that a full charge shot does, but it's going to make it do damage to the people around it, explode on impact, right? So you'll see here, there's going to be 2 damage markers on the guy that I hit, and 1 damage marker on this guy over here. See how I did 133 and 256 to this guy, and only 256 to this guy. That means my arrow only hit for 133, right? Plus the 256, that's 389. I hit for 389 with a full charged arrow. But without burst arrow, I hit for 704. So I hit for nearly twice as much damage to one person without burst arrow on. But with burst arrow, I'm able to hit more than one person. That's the advantage of burst arrow. With target lock, when you hit somebody with your bow, they can't sprint or dodge for 3 seconds, but it has a 15-second cooldown. So like this dude goes to run away, right? If I hit him with the bow, he can't sprint. He's dodge banned. And I can just hit him again and again. But then he's got 15 seconds where he can run around freely. Scatter shot makes your bow do less damage, but it fires 3 arrows. And the arrow spread decreases when it's charged. So with a normal shot, we'll do 161 on all of them. So you want to take those 3 161s, right? And weigh that against when you don't have scatter shot on. And it does 358. So even though scatter shot reduces your damage, if you hit all 3 shots, you do more damage than you would have. Fire arrows is pretty straightforward, but I want to show you the damage difference. Remember, just base charge damage is 704 right now. And then with fire arrows, reduced damage but set on fire, we hit for 457 and we tick for 50. Four times. 457 plus the 50 4 times, that's 200. You're looking at 657. So even though we're going to lose out on about 50 damage, you get to distribute some of that damage over time to their HP. That's one thing I do want to point out. The fire does damage to their HP bar, not their armor. See, I hit him for armor, but then the fire ticks for HP. So curative bolts gives you lifesteal with health or armor when you deal damage with repeating crossbows. Unlike healing bolts, if you're using healing bolts and you shoot one of your teammates to heal them with the repeating crossbow healing bolts, it's not going to heal their armor, it's only going to heal their health. Venom Tip's going to lower your damage on shot, but it's going to inflict them with poison damage that stacks up to 15 times. And it does damage to their HP like fire. So if you stacked up some poison on them, you can see all the 6s. But it didn't do a whole lot of actual damage. Like I hit him multiple times, it did 400, but then look at all the HP damage. It almost does more damage to their HP than it does to their shield. And then barbed bolts is going to make them unable to sprint for 1 second when you hit them, and that does not have a cooldown like the bow's cripple. So it just he's sprint banned as long as I hit him every 1 second. He can't sprint. So that sprint band just keeps refreshing. So next up is the cannon. First one we're going to look at is Meteor. It changes the trajectory and the speed, makes it fire straight and fast, and increases the damage. It's great. So it kind of makes the cannon perform like you would expect it to if you're not already used to the cannon, where whenever you aim, it just kind of shoots where you point at, you know what I mean? Even if it's kind of far in the distance, it goes there, you know, it just keeps going. And I personally love this. It makes it so much easier to hit shots because, you know, without Meteor, you're looking at big lobs. You see how I'm trying to hit the wall, you gotta aim way up there, right? But while Meteor makes it easier to hit, it also increases the damage. See, we do 384 here, and with Meteor, we hit for 466. Flame Breath, just gonna do fire damage on their HP over time after you hit them. Even if they have shield, fire burns through shield and damages their HP. Rupture Gale Orb is pretty nice. It increases the radius of the shot, so you can shoot over here and it'll still damage him. You can shoot over here and it'll still damage him, right? So it's pretty forgiving. And it doesn't reduce the damage of the shot, so that's kind of nice. Bounce Shell makes the cannonball bounce, and it'll explode whenever it's near someone. So it'll do up to 2 bounces and then just explode on somebody. Twin shot makes the cannon shoot 2 cannonballs with slightly less damage. And I know I haven't been combining a lot, but I do want to combine twin shot and bounce shell here because they will both bounce and they will both explode on the enemy. And it's just really cool with something like bounce shot to do like this, you know.
Right through the tallywhacker.
Let's take a look at the pistol, starting with detonating rounds. Deto rounds reduces charged pistol shots damage, but makes them fire bullets that lodge inside the enemies and explode 2 seconds later. Deto rounds is cool because once you shoot them, it like starts that 2-second fuse. Once it goes off, it does a lot more damage. So with Deto rounds, we'll hit for 195 plus. With Deto rounds, we hit for 545, and without it, we hit for 535. So it's about the same amount of damage. You just get some of that over time. Thunder Call is going to give you more damage and a bigger explosion range. So now you're hitting for 610, and you can also like shoot the ground over here, and it'll still hit homeboy for 610. So Quick Charge is going to make you load 2 shots at a time that are silent, but it's going to do reduced damage when you're fully charged. See how fast that charged? But I do 470 that fast, you know. You can really pump out some damage with Quick Charge on. Lastly, we have the Musket. Starting with Armor Pierce, it's going to make it deal less damage, but it's going to deal damage straight to their HP, like fire or poison. So when we shoot this guy with armor, it's only going to damage his HP, but it's only going to deal 177, as opposed to a shot without Armor Pierce on, it's going to deal 230. Sunwing Shot increases the bullet velocity of the musket, so when you shoot, the bullet gets there a lot faster. So if they're really far away, usually with the musket you have to really lead your shot, but with Sunwing Shot it's a lot faster than it would normally be, so it's a lot easier to hit your shots. Before I explain Slow Shot, I want to show you that you can take any ranged weapon, like especially I'll show you with the musket. You can shoot, do a short dash, and then shoot again, and you'll bypass the normal rate of fire. See this rate of fire right here? Now if I short dash, I can bypass that rate of fire and fire faster. See that? So moving on to Slow Shot, it's going to increase the intervals and the damage of the musket shots. Meaning my shots are going to come out further apart from each other, but they're going to do more damage. Now if we think about that tech I just showed you, you can use that with Slow Shot, and it's not any slower than it was without it. So you can still sit here and 230, 230, 307 with or without Slow Shot. But it still only does 230. It does the same amount of damage because Slow Shot is only affecting whenever you're aiming down the sights. That's when you get bigger damage. You don't get the bigger damage when you shoot and dash and shoot and dash. I just really wanted to point that out about Slow Shot. If you know some secret special tech with some of these Souljades, share it in the comments and I'll use it in game for an upcoming video. Click here for more Souljade information. Smash like if you found this guide useful. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next video. Smash like!